if I can lower my camera just a smidge.
Yeah.
Just a smidge.
Production quality is paramount.
All right, let's see what that did. There comes a time when you heed a certain call. That didn't do shit. It's good enough. We don't want to cut off Prince. Okay, fun fact. Dan Aykroyd's in the We Are the World video. I forget it every time. He's standing in the back wearing this horrible jacket and bad tie, looking like he just walked off the set of The Office or some shit.
How often do you rewatch that? Is that like a morning mantra for you?
No, God, no. I wish. No, it's I watch a lot of music reaction videos.
Oh, cool.
We should probably, I don't know, can you, I'm trying to get our heads level.
What if I just...
I cared enough to use an old camera and get my hair cut. Thank you.
Is that better? You happy now?
No, but whatever.
You know I don't do things like this. I'm not into this shit.
I know, I can tell just by looking. Hey everybody, and welcome back to MythBusters. We have just released Nick from his pit in the basement where we keep him locked up, and now we're ready to go. That wasn't really the intro. I just thought that would be funny.
I look good for being in a basement for a week, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't either if nobody could find me. I mean, think about that. Wouldn't that be nice, 1 week where nobody can find you?
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
You know what people call that when you just disappear for like a week? Cuba. They call it Cuba.
Cuba.
Life is a breeze in the Florida Keys. I'm doing just what I please. I don't know what's going on up here today, Nick, but I will say I'm feeling kind of spicy. I prefer saucy, though. I prefer saucy to spicy.
Saucy to spicy.
Because you can't say don't get spicy with me, Bernays. It doesn't work.
That's true. But you shouldn't call me Bernays either, though.
Don't get saucy with me, Bernays.
You belong on stage.
Name the movie.
I don't know. I am the last person you want on your team in a pop culture trivia thing. I don't even know the bands that I like.
I think you just broke me. That's the kind of attention you want from a researcher.
Oh, research for I'm locked. Music, movies, TV shows, actors, actresses. No, it's just I don't care.
Think you're better than me?
I mean, yeah, but there are other reasons for that.
Oh, okay, it's on. All right, look, everybody. This is going to end up in the show. Nick has put together what he's calling. What do you call it?
I don't know what you're referencing. You gave me no heads up.
You put together a format.
Oh, a whole
structure
run of show. The most beautiful kind of like Carl can do this and then Nick can do this and the audience will love it. And Carl had a seizure looking at it.
I did. And also somebody complained that you blur your background. And what are you doing right now?
I will.
What are you doing right now?
Look at me now. Crystal fucking clarity. You can read the books.
Somebody should. I know you haven't.
I've read all those.
Twice? Well, what are you going to do when you're locked in the basement, Nick?
You're
going to read the books?
Just me and Excel.
Welcome to the new show with The Bee. This is how we're working on the new branding. I'm putting it in one letter at a time. And that was as far as I got before we started the show.
Now let's see how it looks so far.
My understanding is that this show is about busting myths, not Busta Rhymes. I am very unprepared because I was working on Busta Rhymes stuff.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. Little confusion.
So I didn't look, I'm not looking at the format right now.
Don't look, don't, because that would be helpful.
But you can look at it and force me into this because of our unbelievably popular show. Nick?
Yes.
This is going to be a fun one. What are we talking about today?
Today, we're busting the myth of should you speak at industry conferences as an expert in your field?
Your own industry.
Your own industry. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Your own
talking to
industry.
ourselves.
Exactly. Should you
Are we
speak
going
to
to hire
yourself?
ourselves?
I mean, maybe.
I thought you were on the side where you think it is a waste of time to
I love how
speak
these are
to
phrased.
your.
I love how these are phrased. It's such bullshit.
I'm now backing you into the corner because when we talked about it earlier, I was like, you were like, no, I think actually it's not good to speak in.
I
And
don't
I'm like,
think
there's no reason why ever in the history of the world, unless somebody has one of your children kidnapped and says,
You must speak at your own industry's event.
even then, don't do it. You could have another kid.
Depends on the kid. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I'm not sure we're making any more. I think we're tapped out. But
Kids are episodes.
why is it that you get physically ill at the thought of somebody speaking at their own industry event?
I'm going to put this in context because there's a citation, there's an asterisk, there's nuance to this little thing.
You're writing a citation? Okay.
I do a lot of work where I review RevGen strategies and systems for digital agencies.
Is this an infomercial? Oh my God. Hey,
lead in.
Listen to Nick.
$99.99 by today. But that's a big chunk of my work. It's a lot of what I do.
Okay. Hey, I don't know why you're so whatever this is today.
I'm
Take a breath.
I've taken so many deep breaths already before we even started recording. I am zened.
Please continue. I will not interrupt anymore.
I'm zened out. Okay. So I do a lot of work where I look at where agency teams spend their time to grow. A big chunk of that is around ICPs and identifying where your buyers' personas spend their time and get their information.
Are we going to share alphabet and we're going to say ICP and just assume everybody knows that means ideal customer profile? I learned something. Okay, continue.
Spend more time with me. You're going to be great at this. So you look at their ICPs. You look at where they spend their time.
You got the giggles.
I'm having a great time today, despite all of the deep breaths.
He hates me.
I don't hate you.
Please, if you wouldn't mind, we're trying to make this a 20-minute show, and I have no idea what you're doing right now.
Carl, I spend some time looking at ICP, and I look at buyer personas, and I look at where they spend their time, where your clients spend your time. And then what I do as an exercise is I have the agencies map their budget and map their effort. How much time does it take? How many people does it take to show up in the places that they're allocating budget to? Those things rarely match up. Rarely does an agency have their budget and their effort dialed in to where their ICP spends their time. And this is one of the big ones that I see is they'll be like, oh, I'm speaking at a conference a month, or in a meetup a month, or something like that, or we do webinars all the time in our space. The reason that it could be a waste of time is if your growth goal is growth, and your goal is to speak to more of your potential clients. Speaking at places and showing up at places and spending money to be at places where they're not at is not helpful. Ooh, okay. Do tell.
Oh, it's my turn. So I think it is important to speak at industry events. I think it's important to speak at conferences where your peers are. And the reason is some of those peers later go in-house. Some of those peers don't know how to do what it is you shared. And they're going to contact you, and you may get hired by what you may have thought of as a competitor. It's not about who you're talking to. It's about what you're sharing with that group. So I phoned a friend.
That's not a lot. Where did you pull that into this? That's
just
because
you have friends to phone.
Read the rules, Carl.
Okay, I can't show you because I'm using my iPhone.
Oh, okay. I phoned a friend too then, and I can't show you, but he said you're full of it.
Okay. Well, it's probably the same friend. So Rob Haar, Sparkbox, they used to do a workshop called Design Responsively, right? When responsive web design first came up. They gave that workshop all over the place. It was how we met, actually. We were in an event together. They were giving the workshop. I kind of sat in. And a lot of people said, why would you tell everybody exactly how you're doing it? Why would you show them the secret sauce? You know why? Because it doesn't mean they can do it. I can show you how to do a magic trick. It doesn't mean you're going to fool anybody. And according to my friend whom I phoned with my thumbs, they would get 1 to 2 leads for every workshop. I would like to admit some more evidence that I do not have documented anywhere.
Why not? Anything goes.
Why is that shocking?
Anything goes.
Anything goes.
When I was speaking a whole lot, when I was getting on stage 2-3 times a month, and I got to a point where I was like, this can't be effective. Like, I am literally, now I was sharing more about our work process and the way we were, like what our model was for getting things done. But I was everywhere. Like, I started worrying I was getting like overexposed. And I decided I am going to stop speaking at industry events. I am going to start focusing on where my clients are. First of all, it was hard. It was harder to get those gigs.
Oh, for sure.
Because everybody thinks you're just that sheep in wolf's clothing. No, wolf in sheep's clothing. Either way, I was not who I appeared to be. That's what they thought. That's why you have to get your clients normally to help you. Like, hey, let's talk about this thing we did in front of your peer. Right?
I love that.
I think it's brilliant. That's the way you break down the barriers and you break through non-disclosure agreements by playing off your client's ego.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I don't have clients anymore because they see all this shit. They're just like, that's what that son of a B was doing. But if you get up on stage and you share complex ideas that people can see the benefit of, then they're going to follow up if they have that need. We had, so I quit and I shifted over to my clients' industries. I shifted over to getting on their podcasts and stuff. In 6 months, more than half of our leads were gone because the people in that audience had clients who needed things that they couldn't provide, and they would recommend they got in touch with us. That's what I found out. It's not about necessarily the people in the audience as prospects as it is influencers, right? They are out there expanding the awareness of your entity through the people in that audience. So that was huge. The other one I'll say is I tried forever to get a video game company. When we started Engine, one thing I said was that is a top priority. We were so close to working with Blizzard, like came so close to working with Blizzard, and then it fell apart. We landed Epic Games because Fred Boyle, God love you, Fred. Hope things are good in Seattle. Fred put on a workshop about building a sandbox server for Expression Engine. And it was only to people in the industry, right? Some of the people that showed up were from Epic Games.
Yeah.
Because they were on Expression Engine for all of their promos and everything. And then they ended up hiring us to help build a lot of back office stuff. And then we ended up getting to do some of the fun work. So one other example, and it didn't go great in terms of once we got through, but when we got hired by Amazon to work on a project that we ended up not taking for all kinds of reasons. When Amazon contacted us, I asked the woman, I was like, how did you hear of us? And she goes, well, there are 2 people in my company who absolutely hate each other, the head of product and the head of technology. And they hate each other. And they both recommended that we hire you. Independent, because they had both seen you speak multiple times. And I want you to make them play nice. But if I hadn't been on those stages talking to our people, talking to ourselves, that never would have happened. So Epic Games, an opportunity with Amazon, what Rob is saying that they would see when they were working on those things. So I think it's an and. I don't think that you should avoid speaking to your customers. Pretty smart plan. But I don't think you should just ignore talking to your own community, talking to your own industry. And the last thing I'll say is Make it important. Don't make it some bullshit chat GPT spit it out thing.
Yeah.
Make it something that people are going to see. They are going to rethink how they do stuff. And they're going to realize they can't do it on their own.
Okay. Number one, that's fascinating. Number two, I gotta let my cat out. He's hitting me in the leg.
What?
So I will respond in a second. Say goodbye.
Oh no, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, now is when Nick will play his fat cat. Look like you're going to play a violin.
He is a chonker. He weighs a lot. You said a lot of good stuff.
That was a jump scare. What was that, sir? Oh my goodness. You're messing up my haircut.
No one can mess that up. No one can mess those luscious locks up. A little tussle.
Let's go.
So you said a lot of really good stuff. I liked a lot of those points.
Thank you.
I think the nuance that I want to bring to it is it depends on what you want out of this thing. It depends on what you want to do. What are your goals? A lot of the agencies that I work with, they have some kind of challenge around RevGen. So for me to go in and to say, hey, you can do A or B, but you clearly can't do both. You could speak at industry conferences of your own industry, or you could speak at industry conferences of your target client industries. You got to shift some effort to the one that is going to get you more immediate clients. True. I love the idea of treating industry ones, though, your own industry ones, as a referral generator or a get bigger in the space generator or a thought leadership generator. Mm-hmm. That kind of stuff is fantastic. It's longer term, though. It's something that you have to get reps in. You have to do it for a while. It's that process. And that's good to do. But if you need work now-ish, if you're trying to cover over a problem and fix a problem, going to your client's industry conferences is way more effective.
I don't disagree there. But what I will say is, how are you going to start? Yeah, it's a longer play to start talking to your own industry.
Yeah.
But you're not talking to an end customer who may come up and you get that halo effect because your client's there, assuming they're well respected in the industry, right? Like, no offense, but I wouldn't want to do one with. Oh, okay. We'll edit that out. When he takes it out, it's going to come back, and I'm just going to be blushed.
Please zoom in on Carl being flushed.
You've got rosy cheeks today, my friend.
Rosy cheeks. Rouge on, maybe.
We call it Nick Rouge. I think that when you speak with your clients at an event, that's great, but it's not fast. It's not going to start today. And if you don't have a client that's willing to speak with you in that industry, it's going to be a lot harder. You start speaking now in front of your own peers, in front of your industry. Not only do you set the ball rolling to get those leads, you now are going to have quality assets to share.
Yeah,
I agree. Here I am speaking in front of 100 people, in front of 50 people, in front of 1,000 people. The largest crowd I ever got was 2,500, right?
Yeah.
It would have been terrifying if I could have seen anything. Luckily, the lights were so bright. Those types of opportunities then can lead to those client opportunities. That's why I don't think it's an either or. It's really hard to get that speaking spot at your customer's industry unless you've laid the groundwork.
It depends on the industry. Some are really tight knit. Some are really tough, for sure. There are others where it's a lot easier.
I agree. There's some pay for play too.
There is, and sometimes
not a fan of that because then you're doing an infomercial cycle. I think you really need your customer to be with you when you give these presentations, unless you have notoriety in the space.
Right, and I'm going to agree with you on this one. You develop that notoriety by speaking at your industry conferences. That can be helpful, for sure.
Yeah. So it's not a waste of time. It's just about setting expectations and keeping an eye on the longer game. The other thing I'll say, there's not as much opportunity to speak at industry events now as there was. There were so many great events out there that are just gone now.
Just killed by COVID.
The pandemic knocked a lot of them out and they just didn't come back. And it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
and the sponsors went away, but the sponsors are coming back now. Speaking of which, we have a sponsor. The sponsor is, I'm going to put him over here. Get him in. Get him.
I can
It's
help.
Parallax. That's right, folks. It's Parallax.
What?
They
Are you
have.
kidding?
I'm not, man. Okay.
Changing my life. Changing my life.
Getting Parallax changed your life?
Well, just that information right now. I kind of want to cut this short. I want to go.
You know what? They are a sponsor and deserve to be treated with respect, sir.
I'm respecting them. I love Parallax.
Okay.
I eat it every morning.
With a little bit of sugar because it's already sweet.
Maple syrup.
I appreciate you coming over to this side and saying that there is a benefit.
There is.
And the other thing I want to say is it's only if you track it, right? What gets measured gets done. And Will Reynolds did this, which I thought was brilliant. I don't know if he still does it, but he speaks at a lot of events too. And he speaks a lot to the search industry, right? He's starting to speak more to the AI industry as well.
Yeah. I've seen some of those. Those are solid.
Unbelievable, right? But he would like, let's say he's giving a talk in Portland, Oregon. When he got back, he would look to see how many people searched for his company. And those searches originated from Portland, Oregon during the time that he was at the event. Yeah. And if he didn't see enough, then he wouldn't go back to that event. So he was basically fine-tuning. He had so much inbound opportunity that this was how he started to filter through. He didn't filter. Nobody should filter.
Don't filter on this show.
Don't look that up.
No, I like that. I think that makes a lot of sense. And attribution was one of the hardest pieces of all this anyway. Measuring ROI at a public event is a nightmare. So if you can do it a little bit, even just get some kind of signal off of that, that's fantastic.
There you go.
I think that it comes down to overall summing up.
Mm-hmm.
I think it comes down to what are your expectations out of this? Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself and say, I'm speaking at all of these conferences and I'm busy but not productive. That's what you want to avoid. You speak of the stuff that matters and the stuff that gets you results.
And depending on who you are, it can be addicting.
Absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely. You want to get up and you want the people to say thank you and you want all those things, which are important. Yeah. The other thing I'll say, speaking at industry events is a recruitment and retention strategy. You speak at your client's industry, you aren't going to have the next wave of new talent that's like suddenly there when you're asking for folks to apply for stuff. So Nick, I appreciate you coming over to this side. I do.
I'm on the fence.
You're on the fence. You know what I think we should do? I got an idea. What if we let people vote in the comments?
That's a great idea. I feel like you're going to sick a bigger network on me, so I don't love that.
Who won?
But yeah, vote in the comments.
Who won? Who wants a free year of membership? Who won?
Who wants to teach me how to make a botnet?
Who wants a ticket to AI in your agency? You won.
What? Don't. No. You briber.
Nick, thank you, my friend. Thank you for another great Agency MythBusters episode.
Did we like and subscribe? We always got to like and subscribe.
Yes. Hit like and subscribe. Leave comments. Help us get this bad boy moving up the charts. This show is doing really well so far. It's doing really well so far, sir.
It is. That's why we're doing the third one.
Technically, it's the fourth because I wouldn't let us publish the third one because I got really cranky about it.
We will keep that in the archives.
Yes.
But maybe we'll share a clip.
If it's all for the good of the children. Everybody, thank you. And come back. Any closing words there, Nick?
We have a brand new survey out, a report that we did together. That new report is out. It's live. It's all about the state of the industry. And it's got a ton of metrics and trends and everything affecting digital agencies. It would be smart to take a look at it. It's free for all Bureau members.
I'm just curious. Do we have anybody support us on that one?
Oh, we did. We had the most excellent support from
Please, God, say their name now. Okay.
Parallax.
It's not just breakfast anymore.
It's
All right, Nick. I think for the future we should still smoke a joint before we do the show. I think it went great.
I didn't know you were too, but yeah, I agree.
It's great seeing everybody. Thanks, Nick. We got to get out of here because it's almost been 2 weeks and it's almost time to record the next one.
Gotta go.
Gotta go.
Thanks, Carl.
See you, Nick.